I've got a fresh project here called Component Login. I'm going to do a simple login scenario where you can log in a user. I'm going to go to the web folder, and if I open up the index page, I'll do two things here. I'm going to compress the Solution Explorer. I'm going to go to the widgets, go to the login dialog, just drag that up to the top right corner. I'm going to resize it a little bit smaller. And I'm going to go to Styles, Size and Position. I'm going to position it to stay to the right. So it will follow that right-hand top corner. Next, I'll go to Widgets again. And I'm going to place a component widget. And what this is, it's a placeholder where you can load web components into. I'll size this as well. I'm going to constrain it to all four sides so it will retain the border at the top and size with the window. So we can do top border 40 probably works. Bottom we'll do 10, 10, and 10. We'll save that. So we'll call this component, I'll go to Properties, we'll call this component main, for lack of a better word. So this is where we're going to load our main portion of the page. Save that. I'm going to double click on the tab to bring up the Solution Explorer again. I'm going to right click on the web folder, go to New, Web Component. I'm going to name this one Public. What a web component is, it's a view that you can load into a web component widget. So this is going to be the page. You can see inside it has HTML, JavaScript file, and it brings up the view automatically. I'm going to right click again. The public one is going to be the page that's displayed for someone who's not logged in. We'll make a component called app for someone that is logged in. So you can see they're all appended with WA component, which you'll see why I told you that in a minute. So I'm going to compress. I think we're done with the Solution Explorer. So we've got index.html with the placeholder here. We have public. And what I'm going to do on public is let's put in some text. And we'll just let's put in some text. This is the public page. Make it bold. Size it up a little bit. There we go. So that's what the page will look like when you're not logged in. Next, we'll click on the app.html and we'll grab some text, drag it on, and this is the private application page. We'll also make that larger, bold, size it to 16. There we go. So we have two views. I'll save that. Public's going to show that. Private's going to show this. So when you're logged in, this is what you'll see. When you're not logged in, this is what you'll see. So now I'm back on the index.html. Let's get this functionality working. Now I did set up a directory. I added a user, Greg, with the password hello. But let's go back to index. I'm going to go to Outline, click on Document, go to Events, and go to OnLoad. This is going to be the code that fires when the page first loads up. Okay. Next, I'm going to go back to the index, go to the Login widget, and I'm going to make an event for onLogin. Back to index.html, same thing, except I'm going to make an onLogout. So you'll see in the index.js file I have three areas of code. I have onLogout, onLogin, and onLoad. So onLoad, so when a request hits the page, what we're going to do is we're going to check if they're logged in or not. And the way we do that is if, and we're going to go waf.directory.currentUser, just like that. And if that is equal to null, that means that no one is logged in. And if it's not equal to null, so else, then we'll do this. So if it's equal to null, we just want to load the public component. So we use this is how you'll call a Wakanda widget. We'll reference the widget, which if you remember, we'll go to index, click on the component, the properties. We did an ID of main, so we're going to reference that main component holder. So this is how you reference it. You put the ID inside of a double $sign with brackets. Now we'll call dot load component, and we'll put in the relative path to the view. So this will be public.wa component. Just like that. Likewise, we can copy this, paste it in here, and if it is logged in, so current user equals null, we're loading public, and if they are logged in, we're going to load app. Now we need to address what happens when they click the login and log out. Well, really all we want to do is we want to invoke this logic in the onload. So a quick way to do that is we'll just do a JavaScript function here, window.location equals index.html. I'll copy that, and we need the exact same thing in logout. So when they click login, it's going to do the login process and then bring them to the index page, which it will then check if they're valid or not and load the appropriate component. So let's save this. I'll start the server. And we'll run it. I'll bring up a browser page here. So you can see, let me resize this. So you can see this is the public page. It's operating properly so far. We'll click on login. I'll put in my user credentials. Click login. And now we're in the private page. Now let's pretend we went off and we surfed somewhere. And we go back to our page, which was, what was it? I'll just hit the back button. You'll see it still lets us in the application. It's remembered us as a session. Click log out. We're out to the public page. We can refresh, and it will remember that we are logged out. Log in again, and it's as easy as that. We've got a nice little login.